back student. Today we will start new chapter in history textbook. Here we study about chapter number 10 in history, new empires and kingdoms. As you know that in India you study about different rulers, different kingdoms, different empires. Yes, already we study about Mauryan Empire, Mauryan dynasty. Here you saw many kings were there who ruled over India and other part of the world. So here through this chapter we study about Gupta dynasty. In this dynasty, here we get knowledge about Samudragupta, who is also very powerful king of Gupta Empire. So first of all, in this chapter, the introduction of the chapter, they give you the starting of the chapter with the Arvind's play a key. Yes, in a school, one boy is there whose name is Arvind, who is like you, and he plays a role of king. And at that time, he amazed. When he was told he would also have to sit and play a veena and recite poem. At that time, he think about it. A musician king? Who was that? He wondered and he wanted to know more about this king. So here we get information about the Prashastis and what they tell us through the Samudragupta. Arvind was supposed to be acting as a Samudragupta, a famous ruler, a Samudragupta who is a very famous ruler of a dynasty known as Guptas. Yes, here we study about new dynasty. We found a long inscriptions. We know more about it. Long inscription inscribed on the Ashokan pillars at the Allahabad. So here it was composed as a kavya by the Harishen. Harishen, who is a Harishen? Who was a poet and a minister at the court of Samudragupta. He is a very famous poet at the court of Samudragupta. These inscriptions of a special kind known as Prashastis. Why we call this inscription as a Prashasti? What is meant by Prashasti? Prashasti means this is a Sanskrit word meaning in praise of, vakhan karva. While Prashastis were composed for some of the rulers you read about in chapter number 9, such as Gautami Putra Shri Satakarni. Yes, already we study about Gautami Putra. Means here his mother wrote some Prashastis about his son. They become far more important for the time of Guptas. Yes, during the excavation we find many evidences about this dynasty, and here we find Prashastis. In this Prashastis, some poet praise their king. So Samudragupta's Prashasti, what this Prashasti tell us? Here the poet praised the king in glowing terms. They praise as a warrior, as a king who won victories in battle. Yes, they describe about many battles and they get victory. They won victories. As equal to the god, they compare this king with the god. Then, who was learned and the best of poets? These are the learned people. They know about the musical instrument like veena. Through the different coins, we find different coins. Through this we come to know about, they know about the art of veena. The Prashastis was composed in a very long sentence. Here is a part of such sentence. In our textbook, they give us the example. Samudragupta's the warrior. Here they give a short description that how they get victories from the other rulers, whose body was most charming, being covered the plenteous beauty of the mark of hundreds of scars caused by battle, axes, arrows, spiked spears, barbed darts, sword, iron clubs, javelin and barbed arrow. These are the name of some tools and weapons which is used by the different rulers. Long arrow and many other weapons. Yes, through this example we come to know about that these kings use so many weapons and tools. So first they learn the skill of using these weapons in the war and how they get victory in front of other rulers. Okay, so this is about Prashasti. Now through the map we get more information about Samudragupta. Look at the map, student, which is given on page number 105, map number 7. You will notice an area shaded in green. Then you will also find a series of red dots along the east coast. And you will find areas marked in a purple, means a pink color, and blue as well. This map is based on the information provided in the Prashastis. Harishen described 4 different kinds of rulers and tell us about Samudragupta's policy towards them. Our first point related to map is the ruler of Aryavarta, the area shaded in green on the map. Here there were 9 rulers who were uprooted and their kingdoms were made a part of Samudragupta's empire. Then second one, the rulers of Dakshinpath. Here there were 12 rulers, some of whose capitals are marked with a red dots on the map. They surrendered to Samudragupta after being defeated and he then allowed them to rule again. Means again they get their kingdoms from the Samudragupta. Third one, the inner circle of neighboring state including Assam, coastal Bengal, Nepal and the number of Ganasanghas in the northwest marked in a pink or a purple on the map. They bought tribute, follow his order and attended his court. Our fourth point, the rulers of the outlying areas marked in blue on the map, perhaps descendant of the Kushanas and Shakas, and the ruler of Sri Lanka who submitted to him and offered daughter in marriages. So here in this map, first we find Prayag, the old name called Allahabad. Then Ujjain and third one is Patliputra. Now it is called as Patna. The another name of Patliputra is Patna on the map. These were important center of the Gupta Empire. So through this map we get lot of information about Gupta Empire. Here they shown you many cities like Thanesar in the northern part, Mathura, Ujjain. In the western part of India, Bharuch, Satvahana. Then in the southern part, here you saw they write the name of dynasty Pallava. They have city like Kanchipuram. Then in the southern part again Chola, Puhar city is there. Then Pandya, Madurai city over there. So many dynasties and cities shown with this map. Here we study about genealogy, means the genealogy of Gupta Empire. Most Prashastis which were found during excavation also mention the ancestors of the rulers, means we are talking about Gupta Empire. Here you saw different rulers who ruled over Gupta Empire or this dynasty. So first of all, here I will give you the name of Chandragupta, who is a very powerful ruler of Gupta Empire. Then his son became the next ruler. Already we study about Samudragupta, and then his son became the next one. whose name is Chandragupta II, means a Vikramaditya. So here detail we get information about the genealogy. This one mentions Samudragupta's great grandfather, then grandfather, father and mother. His mother Kumar Devi belongs to the Lichavigarh, while his father Chandragupta was the first ruler of the Gupta dynasty. Here I am talking about Chandragupta, who is a very powerful ruler, to adopt the grand title of Maharajadhiraj. Who gave this title? People of his court give him title that Maharajadhiraj, a title that Samudragupta also used. His great grandfather and grandfather are mentioned simply as Maharajas. It seems as the family gradually rose to importance. Here we study about different titles like Raja, Maharaja, then Maharajadhiraj. Okay, here Samudragupta in terms figure into genealogy, means a list of ancestors of later ruler of the dynasty, such as his son. Here we are talking about the son of Samudragupta, whose name is again Chandragupta II, who is known as Chandragupta II. We know about him from the inscriptions and coins. Here they launch, we are talking about Chandragupta II. Here we find many coins at the time of Gupta Empire. Here you saw the coins and inscription. He led an expedition to Western India, where he overcame the last of the Shakas according to the latter belief. His court was full of learned people, means a scholared people, including Kalidas poet, who is also a very famous poet in Indian history, Kavi Kalidas, and Aryabhatta, who invented zero. Yes, the astronomer about whom you will read in the next chapter, chapter number 11. Okay, if we talk about Vikramaditya, who is the son of Samudragupta, yes, Chandragupta II get the title of Vikramaditya, and that's why the another name of Chandragupta II is Vikramaditya. In ancient time we use this calendar, which is first time introduced by Vikramaditya. It is called as Vikram Samvat. The era beginning in the 58 before Common Era, means BCE, is traditionally associated with the Gupta king Chandragupta II, who had founded it as a mark of victory over the Shakas and assumed the title of Vikramaditya. The Vikram Samvat has also been adopted alongside the Gregorian calendar. And so nowadays we all are using Gregorian calendar. It is accepted as a international calendar. In this calendar you saw different months were there, 12 months were there, like January to December. Gregorian calendar as the national calendar by independent India. Okay, after that here we study about the another powerful king, the emperor Harshavardhan, who is also a very powerful ruler in the ancient time. Harshavardhan and the Harshacharita. Harshacharita is a biography which is written by his poet, whose name is Banabhatta. So, while we can learn about Gupta ruler from their inscription and coins which we found during excavation, we can find out some kings from their biographies. Yes. So, Harshavardhan, here we are talking about this king whose name is Harshavardhan, who ruled nearly 1400 years ago. His court poet, who is a very famous poet at that time, whose name is Banabhatta, wrote his biography. Here we are talking about biography. The biography, the Harshacharita in Sanskrit, which is written in Sanskrit language. At that time, you know that people are using Sanskrit as well as Prakrit language too. This gives us a genealogy of Harsh king. And end with his belonging king. At that time, already we study about pilgrims, Chinese pilgrim. Xuanzang, about whom you read in chapter number 9, also spent a lot of time at Harsh court and left a detailed account of what he saw or what he observed in his court. Here, Harsh was not the elder son of his father. He but became king of Thanesar. Already I show you Thanesar in map. About both his father and elder brother died in the war. His brother-in-law was the ruler of Kanauj, and he was also killed by the ruler of Bengal. Harsh took over the kingdom of Kanauj and then led the army against the ruler of Bengal, and at that time they defeat the king of Bengal. Along he was successful in the east and conquered both Magad and Bengal. He was not as successful elsewhere. He tried to cross the Narmada to march into Deccan part. What is meant by Deccan Plateau? Already we study about it. The eastern and western Ghat of India. But was stopped by the ruler belonged to the Chalukya dynasty, whose name is Pulkeshin II. So here after that we study about the different dynasty of India. Now we study about some more dynasties. Like in South India, you saw many dynasties were developed. Like here we study about the Pallavas, Chalukyas and the Pulkeshin, which is a very famous ruler of Chalukyas. Prashasti means a praise. So here the Pallavas and the Chalukyas were the most important dynasty in South India. So here we are talking about during this period. The kingdom of the Pallavas spread from the region around their capital Kanchipuram. Yes, their capital city of the Pallavas is Kanchipuram. Already I will show you in map. To the Kaveri Delta, while that of the Chalukyas, here we are talking about Chalukyas, they are from the other dynasty, was centered around the Raichur Doab. Between the, what is meant by Doab? Doab means a land area between the two rivers like Krishna and Tungabhadra river. Here we are talking about the capital city of Chalukyas. Here the capital city of the Chalukyas was an important trading center. Here people coming for the business purpose, as well as it develops as a religious center also. Why religious centers? Because Chalukyas built with a number of temples. The Pallavas and Chalukyas frequently raise one another's land. Yes, war between these two dynasties, especially attacking the capital cities, which were prosperous towns. Yes, due to their prosperity, they attacked each other. The best known Chalukya ruler was Pulkeshin II. Here we are talking about, through the different Prashasti, we get knowledge about Pulkeshin king, who is also a very powerful ruler. We know about him from the Prashasti composed by the poet whose name is Ravi Kirti in his court. This tells us about the ancestors of the Chalukyas, who are traced back through 4 generations from the father to son. Pulkeshin evidently got the kingdom from his uncle. So, according to Ravi Kirti, he led expedition along both west and the east coast. Behind, he checked the advance of Harsh. Yes, this Pulkeshin II attacked Harshavardhan. There is an interesting play of words in the poem. Here in this poem, means a Prashasti, you find some words, some phrases, description like this. Harsha means a happiness. The poet says that after his defeat, Harsha was no longer Harsh. Pulkeshin also attacked the Pallavas king also, who took shelter behind the wall of Kanchipuram. But Chalukya's victory was short-lived. Ultimately, both the Pallavas and Chalukyas gave up to a new ruler belonging to the Rashtrakut. From the which dynasty? Chola dynasty. Now, new dynasty grew up, about which you will study in standard 7. Now, how were these kingdoms administrated? As we know that in our previous chapter also we study about all the rulers. They get tributes from the people, from the different kinds of people, and they run their empire or kingdom. As in the case of earlier king, land revenue means a tax remain important for these rulers, and the village remains the basic unit of administrations. There were some new development as well as kings adopt a number of steps to win the support of a man who are very powerful. Either economically, means in a village area you saw many landowners were there who directly or indirectly support kings, or socially or become their political and military strength. They enhance their strength of military, means the army. Here I tell you some points. Through this point we get lot of information about different Prashastis, about their king and kingdoms of ruler. Some important administrative posts were now hereditary. In this time they select some minister according to their hereditary position. This means that sons succeeded fathers to this post. For example, the poet Harishen was a Mahadandanayak. Means in English we said it, this is a Sanskrit word, Mahadandanayak, means a chief judicial officer. Nowadays you saw different kind of judicial offices were there, like High Court, Supreme Court, Village Court, okay, like his father. Here we are talking about Harishen, the poet of Samudragupta. Sometimes one person held many officers, who plays the role of many officers. For example, besides belong to Mahadandanayak, Harishen was a Kumar Amatya also, meaning an important minister, and Sangi Vigrahika, means the minister of war and peace. Yes, he helped or decide with the help of king about war and peace with the other kingdoms. Third point, besides important men probably had to say in local administration. This includes Nagara Shreshti or chief banker. Yes, as you know that many traders were coming for the business purpose, and at that time they arranged the chief banker to collecting money from the people, and as and when needed they give support of money and they provide money to merchant. Okay, the Sartavahana or leader of the merchant Karvas, the Prathama Kulika, this is also the Sanskrit word, or the chief craftsman and the head of the Kayasthas. Kayasthas means a scribe who wrote about kings. Yes, scribe means a word. These policies were reasonably effective, but sooner or later some of these powerful men grew strong enough to set an independent kingdoms. We are talking about ministers. They set independent kingdoms also. Here we discuss about new point, that is a new kind of army. Yes, as you know that every ruler has a their own army like earlier ruler. Some of these kings maintain a well organized army with elephant, chariots, cavalry and foot soldiers. Besides, there were military leaders who provided the king with a troop. Troop means extra soldiers whenever he needed them. They were not paid regular salaries, but instead of that, some of them received grant of land, means a tribute of land. They collected revenue from the land and used this to maintain soldiers and horses and provide equipment for the warfare. These men were known as Samantas, means a Samant. Whenever the ruler was weak, Samantas tried to become an independent king. So, they get the benefit of king whenever this king become a very weak. Then our next point is the assemblies in a southern kingdom. Yes, already we study about the many dynasty which is developed in a South India. The inscription of the Pallavas mention a number of local assemblies were there. Why they arrange this kind of assembly? Assembly means a sabha. Included the sabha which was assembly of Brahmin landowner. This assembly functioned through sub-committees. Yes, at that time in a committee they formed different committees like agriculture committee, irrigation committee, making road and making local temples committee. Yes, through this committee they work according to it. The Ur was the village assembly. Here they give you the specific word. Ur. Ur was a village assembly found in area where the landowner were not Brahmins, and the Nagaram was an organization of merchants. It is likely that these assemblies were controlled by rich and powerful landowners and merchant also. Many of this local assembly continues to function for centuries, and in this way we study about the Ur. Ur means a village assembly in a southern part of India. Now our new topic is ordinary people in the kingdoms. What is the role of ordinary people? We can catch an occasion glimpses of the lives of ordinary people from play and from the precious things and other accounts. Let us look some of this. Kalidas, yes, already we study about the poet Kalidas is known for his play depicting life in the king's court. An interesting features about this play is the king and the most Brahmins are shown as speaking in a Sanskrit language. Yes, Brahmins and king they are speaking in a Sanskrit language, and while other man and woman and ordinary people speak Prakrit language. His most famous play Abhignan Shakuntalam is the story of the love between a king named Dushyanta and a young woman whose name is Shakuntala. We find an interesting description of the plight of a poor fisherman in this play. Yes, in our textbook they also give you this example of a fisherman finds a ring. Yes, after that we are discussing about Chinese pilgrim whose name is Fa Xian. Notice the plight of those who were treated as untouchables by the high and mighty people like Brahmins and Kshatriyas. They are the superior ones and they can't give respect to untouchables. They were expected to live on the outskirts of the city. Untouchable persons live outskirts of the city. In such a man enter a town or a marketplace. We are talking about untouchables. When enter into marketplace, he strikes a piece of wood in order to keep himself separate from the other people or the other varnas. Hearing this sound, known what is mean, the avoid touching him, means other person avoid to touching him or brushing against him. And Banabhatta provides us with a vivid picture of King's Army on the Move. Here, with the help of King's Army, they give you the instance example in our textbook. Okay, so in this chapter, we get lot of information about Gupta dynasty, Prashastis. Okay, at the end of our chapter, as you know that India is a multicultural country. So in our India, you saw many religions were there. In our previous chapter also you learn about Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, and now you get information about new religion, that is Islam. So Arab merchant and the sailors plays an important role in the sea trade between India and Europe. Other who live in the Arabia were the Bedouin pastoral tribes. They depending mainly on camel and hardy animal that could survive in the desert area. Here we are talking about Arabia. Arabia is a place which is located on map number 6, page number 76. Around 1400 years ago, Prophet Muhammad introduced a new religion. It is called as Islam in Arabia. Like Christianity, Islam was a religion that laid stress on the equality and unity of all before Allah. Yes, they gave respect to Allah, the one supreme God. Here is a verse from the Quran. Yes, this is the holy book of the Islam, the sacred book of Islam. In Islam, they give a lot of description that people, they believe in each other, they have truth, they speak always truth, then they have patience, they believe on each other, they are the humble ones, then they believe in charity, they believe in fast. So all the description they give us about Allah, the remembrance of Allah. For this, the Allah prepared forgiveness and a great reward. So here this religion spread to North Africa, Spain, Iran and India. So slowly and gradually this religion spread around the world. So through this chapter we get lot of information about Gupta Empire. I hope you understand this chapter. Thank you.